The most inane, unhelpful, stereotypical, and cliche question a therapist can ask is, how does that make you feel? Because if the client knew how it made them feel, there's a very real chance they wouldn't be in therapy to begin with. They wouldn't find themselves in the seat of the client in the first place. The problem is that they don't know how it makes them feel. I want to explore that today. I want to explore why it is that therapists seem to have this obsession with feelings, because there's something important to it, and how it is that some people come to not know how they feel, and how that's a problem for them, and how therapy can help them learn what their feelings are, and how that's going to be useful for them moving forward. The big shocker is that your feelings do matter. Why do they matter? Because our feelings are like rudders. Our feelings are like an emotional compass. They help us know who we are, what we want, and they give us a clear vision of how to go about attaining what it is that we want. They also help us interpersonally. They're the means by which other people can know us and we can know other people. They're the bedrock of intimacy. So feelings are not the end goal. They're not what we're shooting for in therapy. It's not feelings in and of themselves that we're after. It's feelings as a vehicle towards something bigger, towards something more important. It's feelings as the means to an end, not the destination itself. It's like that old Buddhist parable, don't confuse the finger for the moon. The finger points at the moon. The finger is not the moon. The feelings point to the goals that we have. They point to the life that we'd like to live for ourselves. They are not the goal. They are the means to the goal. Because feelings give us this sense of self, of who we are and what we want, and allow us to experience intimacy and connection with others, problems arise for us when we don't know what we feel, when we're not connected to the truth of our feelings. Then we don't have our emotional compass that can guide us in terms of our decision making in the world. We end up making a lot of maladaptive choices as opposed to the adaptive actions that would get us closer to the lives that we want to be living. Not knowing who we are or what we stand for or the direction we're going in life, we risk sort of floating through life, bopping from one situation to the next situation, never really living with our feet firmly planted, ending up in circumstances that aren't all that great for us. The therapist Paul Wachtel says that the client's problems are understood most fundamentally from his having learned to be afraid of certain feelings early on in life. So yeah, therapists care about feelings. We want to help you know what it is that you feel so that you have a more coherent sense of self and so that you take adaptive actions in your life that improve the quality of your life. Let me illustrate this with an example. Let's take two people. They both have a job. Two people are working, all right? Neither of them really like their job all that much, but one of them is more aware of the fact that she doesn't like the job than this other person. She is very aware of her feelings of dislike. Not only is she aware of them, but she trusts them. And because she trusts them, she is able to act from them. She's able to go to her boss or her manager and advocate for herself so as to make the job better for her. And if the boss or manager does not respond in kind, she is prepared to leave the job, to find a different job, something that is better for her, that improves her quality of life. The other person, let's say that he is vaguely aware that there's something he doesn't enjoy about this job, but he doesn't really connect with the fullness of that feeling. Instead of feeling it fully, he questions himself. Am I the problem? He makes excuses. All jobs are like this. He tries effectively to disconnect from the fact that he doesn't like it. He doesn't want to be aware of these feelings. He hasn't learned that he has a right to his feelings. But what happens is that because he doesn't fully see and fully trust his feeling of dislike, he does not make moves to improve his situation. He does not advocate for himself. He doesn't leave the job. He stays in it. The years pass. He grows resentful, let's say, knowing vaguely at the back of his mind there could be more out there for him. but he never achieves it. He never finds it. He never risks it. That's a tragedy. That's really sad. And there's a solution to it. And the solution is to help this man get more fully in touch with his feelings the way the first woman in this example was, so that he can then take actions that will help him feel better and improve his life circumstances. The problem is that it's not all that easy to do, and simply asking the man, well, how do you feel about your job, or how does that make you feel, isn't good enough. It's like asking somebody a question in a foreign language they've never heard. I mean, it's meaningless. It goes right over their head. They're empty words. It's not productive. So the therapist has to help this person become aware of their inner world, of the truth of their inner world. The job of the therapist is to work with this individual on a moment by moment by moment basis, so that they can come to see for themselves how they defend against their feelings, so that in time they can become more aware of their inner world, so that they can face their feelings fully, so that they can turn those feelings, once connected with, into adaptive action. And this requires a lot of skill on the part of the therapist, and it requires a lot of trust between the therapist and the client. Now, the other problem that I want to point out, because you can take this into your own life and perhaps apply it, is that a lot of us confuse what exactly feelings are. We're not entirely sure. We say things like, I feel abandoned. That's not a feeling. If you were left, you were left. You might feel sad about it. You might feel angry about it. But abandoned isn't a feeling. You might say, I feel like he was having a bad day when he did that horrible thing. That's not a feeling. That's trying to understand somebody's state of mind. That's not a feeling. You might say, I feel like leaving. I feel like getting away from the situation. Okay, that might be a valid course of action, we'll see, but that's not a feeling. According to many different researchers of emotion, there are 6 primary emotions. Those are anger, fear, surprise, sadness, disgust, and happiness. So when you're wondering what it is that you might be feeling about a situation, if you're having a difficult time connecting with that feeling, start by looking for one of those 6 and be alert to all the different things that your brain does, all the different feelings that come online to sort of distract you from or parade around as though they're the true feeling, when really they're not. If it's a true feeling, it will most likely be one of those 6. That's a good place for you to start. The next step isn't just to see the feeling and know the feeling, it's to feel the feeling fully, so that we can then use the feeling in our daily living. We can channel that feeling when it comes up into adaptive action. But insofar as we're unable to connect with that feeling, then we cannot use the intelligence in it. We cannot use it as a guide. We're going to be stuck in a life where we use our defenses to guide our decision making. Our defenses create our symptoms and problems. So we're going to continue to repeat painful patterns in our lives. That is why feelings matter. That is why therapists care about feelings. That is where that very cliche, unhelpful, and what does that make you feel question comes from. Thank you for watching. I hope it was useful, and see you in the next video.